Unit Project 3 is basically about our sort of problems in the media, challenges that the media is facing, like bias and, sort of how everything is biased and how they then approach that. Misinformation and disinformation, so sort of our fake news. And then, of course, the consequences like lack of trust in the media. So for this project, you are going to want to use course materials. That's right up there, like the first bolded bullet on the assignment sheet. I definitely want to see you using course materials. You don't have to quote course materials, but you have to incorporate them into the class. And of course, you do need to cite your sources, whether they're class sources or outside ones. When you're writing this, the word counts are guidelines. Say for the option 1, it's 450 words. I wouldn't want to see a 300 word answer. I also wouldn't want to see a 900 word answer, even probably an 800 word answer. But if you submit like a 400 word answer or a 500, even 550 word answer, that's probably going to be okay with me. I'm not going to stop reading if you hit 700 words, but if you're that far, you're probably just honestly writing too much. So I'm not looking for everything to be said in these papers. So keep that in mind. It's a guideline, not a strict limit in either direction. So don't stress about oh my gosh, it's 455 words. What do I do? But know that you shouldn't be going to 800 words or something. Or again, even probably 700 is too much. So keep that in mind. And then that's for the paper part, your reflections on all 3 of them. That is really a minimum, not a maximum, as I explain on Canvas. So the first 2, it's 150 words. The third one, it is actually 150 to 300. It's recommended. I say recommended, but you can go over. I will not penalize you for going over. I mean, I suppose if you write 1,000 words, we're going to have some issues. But generally, I'm not going to penalize you for going over. That doesn't mean you have to. You do not have to go over to get a good grade. But I don't want you to stress about having to get it down either. The idea with these limits is it can actually be challenging to keep your writing down to them. So I want you to think about, how can I boil down my writing? How can I just talk about the key points? What can be cut? And at least in theory, you should be able to do that for all of these within the limits, sort of hitting those guidelines pretty closely. But I know that is a skill that takes a lot of practice, and I'm not expecting you all to be perfect at it yet. So if you end up needing to go over a bit, that's okay. Again, especially in the reflections, because we are aiming for metacognition, meaning you're sort of thinking about how you learn and thinking about this process and understanding the concepts through understanding how you understand the concepts. Very meta, right? Metacognition. So that I am much more open to you refining it less, if that makes sense. So keep that in mind. I don't want the word guidelines to be stressful, but I want them to push you towards honing your ideas, focusing on what's important, and of course, not doing too much work. These aren't supposed to be term papers here. And I want to make sure you don't try for that much. This shouldn't be taking you, midterm length amounts of time. This is just a small project. So with that in mind, I hope you enjoy these different assignments. And feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. There's also a longer video describing each of the assignments each of the project options in more detail.